the value of China's currency to be increasingly driven by the market, which will help ensure that no nation has an undue economic advantage. To advance our shared security, we're expanding and deepening dialogue and cooperation between our militaries, which increases trust and reduces misunderstandings. With regard to regional stability and security in East Asia, I stress that the United States has a fundamental interest in maintaining freedom of navigation, unimpeded commerce, respect for international law, and the peaceful resolution of differences. I welcomed the progress that's been made on both sides of the Taiwan Strait in reducing tensions and building economic ties. And we hope this progress continues because it's in the interest of both sides, the region, and the United States. Indeed, I reaffirmed our commitment to a One China policy based on the 3 U.S.-China communiques and the Taiwan Relations Act. I told President Hu that we appreciated China's role in reducing tensions on the Korean Peninsula, and we agreed that North Korea must avoid further provocations. I also said that North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile program is increasingly a direct threat to the security of the United States and our allies. We agreed that the paramount goal must be a complete denuclearization of the peninsula. In that regard, the international community must continue to state clearly that North Korea's uranium enrichment program is in violation of North Korea's commitments and international obligations. With respect to global security, I'm pleased that we're moving ahead with President Hu's commitment at last year's Nuclear Security Summit for China to establish a center of excellence, which will help secure the world's vulnerable nuclear materials. To prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, we agreed that Iran must uphold its international obligations and that the UN Security Council sanctions on Iran must be fully enforced. Along with our P5+1 partners, we'll continue to offer the government of Iran the opportunity for dialogue and integration into the international community, but only if it meets its obligations. I reaffirmed America's universal rights of all people, and that includes basic human rights like freedom of speech, of the press, of assembly, of association and demonstration, and of religion, rights that are recognized in the Chinese Constitution. As I've said before, the United States speaks up for these freedoms and the dignity of every human being, not only because it's part of who we are as Americans. We do so because we believe that by upholding these universal rights, all nations, including China, will ultimately be more prosperous and successful. So today, we've agreed to move ahead with our formal dialogue on human rights. We've agreed to new exchanges to advance the rule of law. And even as we, the United States, recognize that Tibet is part of the People's Republic of China, the United States continues to support further dialogue between the government of China and the representatives of the Dalai Lama to resolve concerns and differences, including the preservation of the religious and cultural identity of the Tibetan people. Finally, we continue to expand partnerships between our people, especially our young people. Today, my wife, Michelle, is highlighting our efforts to increase the number of American students studying in China to 100,000. And I'm very pleased that President Hu will be visiting my hometown of Chicago. Mr. President, you are brave to visit Chicago in the middle of winter. I have warned him that the weather may not be as pleasant as it is here today. But I know that in the students and the business people that you meet, you will see the extraordinary possibilities of partnership between our citizens. So, again, I believe that we've helped to lay the foundation for cooperation between the United States and China for decades to come. And Michelle and I look forward to hosting President Hu for a state dinner tonight to celebrate the deep ties between our people, as well as our shared hopes for the future. President Hu.
各位记者朋友、女士们、先生们，大家好。首先，我要对奥巴马
First of all, I want to express sincere appreciation to President Obama and the government and people of the United States for the warm welcome accorded to me and my colleagues. Just now, I've had talks with President Obama in a candid pragmatic and constructive atmosphere, we had an in-depth exchange of views and reached important agreement on China-US relations and major international and regional issues of shared interest. We reviewed the development of China-US relations in the last 2 years. We positively assessed the progress we made in dialogue, coordination, and cooperation in various areas. The Chinese side appreciates President Obama's commitment to a positive and constructive China policy and to stable and growing China-US relations since he took office. Both President Obama and I agree that as mankind enters the second decade of the 21st century, the international situation continues to undergo profound and complex changes, and there is a growing number of global challenges. China and the United States share expanding common interests and shoulder increasing common responsibilities. China-US cooperation has great significance for our two countries and the world. The two sides should firmly adhere to the right direction of our relationship, respect each other's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and development interests, promote the long-term sound and steady growth of China-US relations, and make even greater contributions to maintaining and promoting world peace and development. We both agree to further push forward the positive, cooperative, and comprehensive China-US relationship and commit to work together to build a China-US cooperative partnership based on mutual respect and mutual benefit, so as to better benefit people in our own countries and the world over. We both agree to strengthen exchanges and cooperation in economy and trade, energy and environment, science and technology, infrastructure construction, culture and education, counterterrorism, non-proliferation, law enforcement, and other areas, so as to achieve mutual benefit. During my current visit to the United States, the relevant departments, institutions, and enterprises of the two countries have signed a number of cooperation agreements and reached agreement on a series of new cooperation projects. These will inject fresh momentum into our bilateral cooperation and create a great many job opportunities for both countries. We discussed some disagreements in the economic and trade area, and we will continue to appropriately resolve these according to the principle of mutual respect and consultation on an equal footing. The President and I agree that China and the United States need to establish a pattern of high-level exchanges featuring in-depth communication and candid dialogue. President Obama and I will stay in close contact through meetings, telephone calls, and letters. The two sides believe that the expansion of exchanges and cooperation between our militaries contribute to deepening mutual trust between our two countries and to the growth of our overall relationship. We also agree to encourage all sectors of our society to carry out various forms of exchange activities. In particular, we have high hopes on the young people, hoping that they will better understand each other's country and be more deeply involved in the people-to-people exchanges between our two countries. President Obama and I exchanged views on the international economic situation. We believe the world economy is slowly recovering from the international financial crisis, but there are still a fair amount of unstable factors and uncertainties. Both sides agree to strengthen macroeconomic policy coordination and actively pursue opportunities for greater cooperation in this process. The two sides support the G20 playing a bigger role in international economic and financial affairs. We agree to push forward reform of the international financial system and improve global economic governance. We champion free trade and oppose protectionism, and we hope the Doha round of negotiations can make early and substantive progress. President Obama and I exchanged views on major international and regional issues, including the situation on the Korean Peninsula, the Iranian nuclear issue, climate change, and others. We agreed to strengthen consultation and coordination on major issues that concern peace and development in the Asia-Pacific region and in the world. China and the United States will enhance coordination and cooperation and work with the relevant parties to maintain peace and stability on the peninsula, promote denuclearization of the peninsula, and achieve lasting peace and security in Northeast Asia. We will work with the United States and other countries to effectively address global challenges such as meeting the climate challenge, terrorism, transnational crime, energy and resource security, food security, public health security, and serious natural disasters, so as to forge a bright future for the world. I stated to the President that China is firmly committed to the path of peaceful development and a win-win strategy of opening up. China is a friend and partner of all countries, and China's development is an opportunity for the world. That's all. Thank you.
Dan Feller with the Associated Press. Thank you very much. I'd like to address both